My name's Guy Kestevan, and I've been a professional bike and kit reviewer for nearly 25 years. And today, the bike I'm doing this tech talk around is On1's super radical steel-framed Hello Dave. So, what is it about Hello Dave that makes it so radical? I mean, for a start, there's a bit of backstory here. This bike started off as a sick bike Wolf. They were an English kind of crowd-funded company who made a massive bang on social media, and then unfortunately made a similar bang in terms of business. Kind of left a bit of a trail of unpaid-for bikes and unhappy customers. But that meant these unpaid-for bikes needed a home from their factory, and Planet X, parent company of On1, were offered the frames, and they kind of took the first batch as a, yeah, well, just, you know, to try them out. And that's where the name Hello Dave comes from. It's an English company. It's an English comedy called League of Gentlemen, and there was a character on there called Papa Lazarou, who his catchphrase was he'd go into people's houses unannounced and go up to poor, unfortunate women and go, "Hello Dave, you're my wife now." And so, you know, On1 made these bikes their wives now, and that means they inherited this crazy geometry. I mean, this is proper sick, genuinely sick stuff. 62-degree head angle, 480mm reach on this large, and a 77-degree seat angle, and a 458mm chainstay length, which means you're getting 1296 on production bikes. This has got a standard offset fork, so it's a little shorter in the wheelbase. But even so, this is just an absolute super stable trucking machine. But also, I mean, they are more expensive than a standard On1 steel frame, but you're getting a really, really top quality frame here. Yeah, I mean, it's DN6, it's triple butted steel tubing with a lot of BMX background. And you can see details like this. You've got this really nicely sculpted machine chainstay bridge here to give room around the tyres. I mean, normally on On1 bikes, that's just a simple piece of plate. But there's obviously a lot more money and cost gone into fabricating something that nice. And you've got these, you know, really supple, kind of supple, well, they are supple if you watch the live ride review. But, you know, for such a bruiser of a bike, these are really quite slender chainstays. And then a slender curved end here on these chainstay, on the seat stays there. I mean, they certainly bulk up here around the A-frame. But again, you know, top tube, relatively slim. And then this down tube gets, you know, big reinforcing gusset on the throat there to keep it all together. And, I mean, watch the live ride review. What's really, really impressed me is just the ride quality of this bike. I mean, I did ride a Sick on test for MB UK magazine, and to be fair, it rode really, really well. And, again, this bike rides beautifully. And although the original bikes that Planet X got had a full Sick back end with a modular dropout system, this is an On1 rear end, so it doesn't have a modular dropout system. It just has this, you know, neat, chunky, replaceable dropout. But from what I remember on the Sick bikes, the power delivery wasn't that great. They're almost too flexy at the back end. So although there are some drawbacks, I mean, this particular version will only take a 160mm rotor, unfortunately. The next batch will take a 180. Because, you know, with a 150mm fork up front, you've got, you know, plenty of travel there, but the back end just takes it so much in its stride. I'm amazed, properly amazed, especially as these tyres, I'm kind of losing, well, I'm kind of keeping thread in my own head, but maybe not as a walk around. But anyway, bear with me. These tyres, these e-bike ready synthesis carcass V tyre flow snaps are normally pretty damn wooden, to be fair. They're not normally a tyre that flatters the bike and the way it feels. And these non-production rims, these are a heavy-duty rim. It'll actually come with a lighter, more responsive Alex rim. Still, you know, still super chunky, still tubeless, still wide, but it'll actually come with a better quality rim on it. But even despite the tyres, despite the heavy wheels, the ride quality of this bike is outstanding. And also, because they are, you know, this super tacky compound, I mean, they absolutely kill you on the road. These are murder on hardpack. But actually, as soon as you start getting off-road, they seem to roll a lot faster, I guess, because, you know, they're not quite as tacky on the dirt. But also, they flow, you know, fair play. They're called a flow, and they actually flow okay. I thought they'd be a complete killer on this bike, but they've actually acquitted themselves really, really well. They suit it very well. And again, it's a GX spec, so you've got GX Eagle, It's a slightly down-spec'd cassette. They've been a bit naughty there of On One, so that's heavier than a standard Eagle cassette by about 200 grams. But to be honest, I think if you're looking at this bike, you're probably looking at the geometry numbers, not really the weight numbers. You know, under 15 kilos all in, it's still lighter than a full suspension bike for 1,500 quid. Don't forget that. And you're getting, you know, these really big, solid, broad dub axle cranks. GX cranks with, you know, proper SRAM Eagle X-Sync 2 chainring teeth, so that's all nice and smooth. It is a proper SRAM cassette on there, and although I've had no problem with chain retention, you do get ISCG mounts there. And talking of spec, look at that proper 175mm stroke reverb dropper with the fancy RockShox trigger remote on it. So proper top quality dropper post there. And again, this Pike fork, Pike Select, you're getting a charger damper in there, so again, really good, capable damper. The only thing I would say is make sure you add a bit more pressure than normal, because this is a bike that will encourage you to ride very hard without even really realising it, because it's so stable, so confident, that you'll suddenly realise that you are, you know, you're bouncing off the rims and bouncing off full travel if you're running your normal pressures in the fork. I mean, yeah, go crazy low on the tyre pressure by all means. I think I'm running about 12 front, 15 rear in these just to maximise the traction on them. But, you know, make sure you sort of cater for that in the fork settings as well. Just back up to the bars, other things to go over here. I mean, this sample bike, again, it's got Guide R brakes. It should come with Guide REs, which is great news. More powerful brake because it's mated to the code caliper rather than the guide caliper, so full-on DH caliper brake. And it comes with a 200mm rotor as well, so huge amounts of stopping power on production bikes there. This On One bar, didn't think I'd like the shape, but actually adds a bit of stack to the front end and makes the long bike a bit easier to lift, a bit easier to kind of manual about. So I've got on all right with this Enduro 6, and at 780mm wide, it's a good width. Love the Descendant stem, it's what I run on my tandem, so absolutely zero complaints there, and 40mm length is pretty much bang on. I mean, it does take some getting used to having a bike where when you look over the front, you can see the head tube, let alone the fork brace. You bastard, Jim, how long have you been sat there? 5 minutes. So bars are sorted, stems sorted, brakes are sorted. Not a massive fan of these metal collars on the end of the grips there. They hurt if you're the kind of rider. They hurt if you like to hang your hands off the edge of the grips. You're not going to like them. And this Salutele X3 saddle kind of feels like a badly wrapped brick end if you try and put any miles into it. But the nice thing is, because Planet X build all their bikes up to order in Rotherham, you can change the saddle and you can change the grips. You can even change the bar if you want when you're getting your bike built to order. And the frame comes in 4 different colours, well, 3 colours, and then a raw galvanised finish for that fully industrial look. The only thing I would say is get some protective tape on there as soon as you can, because this is a bike that's likely to be bouncing around, those cables are going to start marking it up pretty quickly. Otherwise, fully external cable routing, apart from the Reverb pose that goes in there, but that keeps it nice and simple for servicing. So, I mean, On One kind of generally known for kind of, well, basic but, you know, really good, cheap and cheerful bikes, but this is a proper premium quality ride. So that's the tech talk round done. Please make sure you watch the live ride review as well. Obviously I've had to dial back the intensity of riding because I don't want to be irresponsible in these current times. So stay safe yourselves, ride solo, ride responsibly, and, you know, stay healthy, everyone. Thanks for watching. Thanks to On One for supporting the video. Thanks to my Patreon supporters for backing the channel, and they get extended early and behind the scenes cuts as, you know, a thanks for that. So if you like what I'm doing with the channel, please consider joining them by subscribing to Patreon. Thanks to Red Bull Spect for the kit, Camelback, Specialized, Endura and Physic, Liat for the gloves, Crank Brothers for the pedals, and Laser, as you can see, for the full face I've been wearing today to stay safe. I've been Guy Kestevan on Guy Kest TV, talking about On One's super radical Hello Dave.